How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Loose Cannons
You can hear
podcast.
crying out the lane. EBERE scores again. One call from Hincapie, he said, wow. Give me one top, no mama good now.
Come on.
La 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 la
La la la la la la la la la. Hey,
All right, listen,
that song.
little man sleeping, so I wish I could have joined you guys, but yeah, I joined them with a little beat in the background.
Sorry, guys. Has there ever been a song made for a player more apt so quickly than that song for EBERE Eze? Within 4 months, the song is perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect.
I love it. Sorry.
Perfect.
I love that song. Sorry.
I love the energy as well, Jordan. Listen,
Come on, man.
If you hadn't have hit the like button yet, surely now you must hit the like button. Jordan's never started a podcast with this much energy, so make sure you're starting with the right energy. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Obviously, hype the video if you can hype the video. And as you can see, this Loose Cannons is sponsored by Huel. To get £10 off a £60 order, scan the QR code. There's a link in the description. I'll pin it in the comment section as well. So make sure you show them some love too. Obviously, you have done already. That's why they're back. But if you have and you like it, then show them some love again. If you're looking for a different path in life, journey, health-wise, then check them out, people. Why not? But obviously, you know what we're here to talk about. It's the night of the day we smoked Tottenham 4-1. Eze gets a hat-trick. And as always, we've got a special guest in the building. Big up Jordan James, as always. But we've got Laura in the building. Laura, thank you for coming on tonight, giving us your time. Appreciate it. And I can see the smile on your face. You're as happy as us.
I'm so happy. Thank you for having me. I can't stop smiling. My face hurts. So this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah. And listen,
Sorry.
Go on, Jordan. Do your thing. Sorry.
I was just gonna say before you carried on. Big up you, Laura. Your content is sick. I think you've really changed the game with the content you're doing in terms of the satire and your take on how other people view Arsenal, but also how Arsenal fans view themselves. It's really funny. I've been sharing lots of it. I've been watching lots of it. I've got a feeling, of all the guests we've had on the podcast so far, I've got a feeling you might be the best one so far.
No way.
I'm just saying, I'm really excited you're here. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm very much humbled by that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to sit alongside you guys, I promise.
Come on. And I echo the content front, Laura, because I can't lie, it's unique and it's my sense of humor. Like even in my TV series, likes and wants, that's the sort of sense of humor. So people, if you know Laura, big up Laura, show us some love in the comments. If you don't, I'll put her ex profile in the description below, but she's also in Insta, also on TikTok. You can find her there too, but the ex is the main one. So go check it out, because I'm telling you, if you got my sense of humor, our sense of humor, I'm sure you'll love it. And big up James for the through ball here, because I see a lot of people last show picking me up for the Darren Bent through ball. Nah, it was Jordan. He threw ball and finished it himself. So this is a community effort here, people.
I don't want to brag. What
were you going to say, Jordan?
I was going to ask Laura, how do you mock a program, right, and then get booked to be on the program?
I was going to ask that.
That's so sick.
I was going to ask that very question.
To be fair, my kind of like mantra with it is I will only ever say something that I would be happy to say in front of the person, like in a real life scenario. So in that sense, I think I've just about towed the line between being like, just pushing it a bit too far. And also if my job is done well, if people laugh with me, it's really not meant to be like, let's really, as much as I would love to, don't get me wrong, have a really good pop at Jamie O'Hara. Ultimately, he needs to find it funny as well. Otherwise, I've kind of crossed the line, and I don't want to contribute, as I'm sure everyone, is aware of in this group. I don't want to contribute to nastiness on social media. So, and fair play to them as well, that they kind of take it on the chin, rather than it being, anything else other than that. But yeah, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'd love to go a little bit further, but then I'm like, no, let's rein it in.
I've just got one more quick question. So before we get into the game, guys. So have you always been funny? And what was the sort of content how did you get into making content about football and football?
To be honest, I've always had quite a sarcastic sense of humor, and I think that comes from being a ginger kid at school that was quite badly bullied. I just think that you develop a bit of a personality. But I've always watched, football since I was really young. And earlier this year, I decided to kind of start making videos, basically. And I'm sure all you guys have had that moment where you're like, I'm just going to make a video. It doesn't matter if no one watches it. You have to start somewhere. And it's just, I think a lot of people share my sense of humor. You guys will all recognize what it is. So it's good to see that it resonates with people in that way.
You know, Laura, we met through FK on Latte Firm, I think was the first stream we did. And I mean, I followed your tweets because, they were just hilarious. I mean, the Calafiori back and forth is just like, I just enjoyed kind of reading your updates in the way you saw Arsenal in a very satirical, funny way, as well as, undoubtedly, unbelievably knowing your football. And I think we had a great chat after we knocked Porto out of the Champions League. But then when we did the stream, obviously comes through on cameras. I'm really glad you're doing content in that way. I echo what they said. Like, congrats to you. It's great stuff, and I know everyone will love it in the comments as well.
Yeah, go show Laura some love, people. Laura Kirk Francis.
Okay.
That's Instagram. That's TikTok, and the X is
Laura Kirk 12. God knows what that 12 was for, but I was one of those people that joined Twitter in like 2011. So God knows what that was about.
OG Jordan.
I've just got a PSA right before we get to the football chat. Can all of our listeners and viewers please go to stay on this Turkish LDN channel and check out Turkish. Well, I'm going to call you Turkish Curls. Turkish's video from yesterday post-match, where this guy's gone to Turkey, right? Had a nice operation, and all of a sudden now he had longer hair than me. What's going on here now? Like, Turkish has got hair all down here, little almost curtains. They were almost curtains. I'm like, what's going on?
Turkish is what Calafiori thinks he is.
It's what he wishes he was. It's what he's trying to be.
Laura, don't bring your humor here, please.
Do a video on that one, please. Do a video on Turkish, right?
That would be good. Just write that one down for the list tomorrow.
I see. And people are saying to me, I didn't know you could pick the type of hair you put on your head. My hair is naturally curly. You can't pick the type of hair. What kind of thing is this? People are thinking I picked the perm style hair. My hair's been curly, people. I don't know the mix, heritage. I know Turkish, I know Irish, and obviously Turkish Cypriot, but everything else I don't know, people. So it's real hair. It's just placed somewhere else.
Turkish, I've got to say, me and you, we went big putting those videos out, because we knew what we had coming the day after, and my comments were flooded with, James, if you've jinxed us, James, if I can't enjoy this till we've done our job, James, if we don't win. And I saw your video with a thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I saw the title.
Do you know?
You're talking about your shark fin soup and everything, and I'm watching.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.
I'm watching the videos.
Let me be honest here. You know that thumbnail. The aim of that thumbnail was, that Shrek meme.
Yeah,
I do.
It didn't quite go the same way. It still worked, but the aim was the Shrek meme, and
Wait, when he's looking down, he sort of goes.
That
one,
It ended up being the people's eyebrow and a little look from the left, but it worked. Listen, I said it last show. If I'm all in, I'm all in. Like, people, when I used to last season after Newcastle in November, I said the league's done. People would say, you're jumping too early. I'm emotional. I'm emotive when I'm with Arsenal. This time round, every single week, I'm jumping the gun because I believe we're gonna do it. I believe in us. I believe in what I'm seeing, what we're doing, the players, the manager, the system, where we're at, the experience. That's probably the final piece. As big as the transfer window was, I keep on thinking about the experience we've gone through. And by we, I mean the players. Leading the race 22-23, getting caught up by the Sharks and all of that. 23-24, going toe-to-toe with them. But that one game out of the last 19 being the downfall. When any other season, that record wins you the league. But you went up against the Sharks again. Those experiences, in my opinion, probably weigh heaviest in terms of why I am so confident now in this team. So when I see City and Liverpool lose, I knew Newcastle would get something out of City. I just felt it. Liverpool beat them, St. James. We beat them, St. James. I didn't think City would do it as well. So I thought maybe a draw, beat them. On top of the Liverpool a few hours earlier, out of nowhere, a game you'd expect Isak to score a goal and them to win the game comfortably, and maybe a bit of they're galvanized a little. It didn't happen. So off the cuff, and I was confident against Tottenham that regardless of injuries, we've got what it takes. And I'm so glad all 3 goals were open play. But we're going to get into all of that anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what, Turkish as well. Like as we're congratulating ourselves a little bit, I'm going to come in with what we spoke about. I know Jordan, but you know what? We don't get to do it all the time. Do you remember the pod with Cams? And I wasn't really sure. I was like, I don't know if I've got this one right, but I didn't really buy into the whole Man City are back statement against Liverpool. Arsenal, did they crumble against Sunderland a little bit? Did the pressure get to them? Like, I really came away from that weekend thinking, cool, disappointed to concede in the 94th minute, but we played really well against Sunderland in that second half anyway. And I watched that Liverpool City game going, hold on, Liverpool had a perfectly good goal disallowed and then could have scored a goal or 2 in that second half. I didn't really see City peppering that Liverpool goal, and the way kind of the narrative was, I actually thought City in a weird way played almost better at Newcastle, created quite a few chances. Haaland and Foden should have scored, but maybe not better, but certainly played well. But just this kind of idea that 2 weeks on, how quickly the narrative flips again, when everyone was kind of saying, there we go, now the momentum's with City. Well, 2 weeks on from that, Arsenal have opened a 7-point gap. Now, I don't think anything's done and dusted, but it is interesting how quickly these things can change. And, we all spoke about it. I think all of us said we didn't quite see the Man City that everybody was saying they saw. Jordan, I know you definitely subscribed to that thinking. And it's paid well for us this weekend.
But I'm a contradiction, right? But before we get to the game, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit, because whilst on that pod I did say I'm not having City, at this stage I still have them winning the league. I'm still not all in yet with Arsenal. What I meant by I'm not having them is I don't think they're as good as everybody else thinks they are.
Yeah, that's what
that's kind of more what I meant. Not that they come in the league, but they're not as good as that Liverpool game. Oh, City, you're amazing. City, you're coming for Arsenal. I'm like, City still concede a lot of chances, which we don't. So I'm like, in a minute. My only reason for putting City just ahead of Arsenal still is the P word. It's just the pressure of being able to been there and done it. We haven't done that. So until we're under pressure, real pressure.
I thought you meant Pep.
Well, that piece, bro.
The P word. I was like,
both fair. I think both work.
PG Everwell.
To be fair, they're both 2 genuine P's that are reason why we won't win the title. But it was just pressure. But other than that, it's Arsenal to lose. But anyway, Turkish. Sorry, back over to you.
No, I mean, listen, I think we started where we've started. I think we can maybe touch in again on City, Liverpool, and who people deem the closest rivals now, because James is right. 2 weeks ago, everyone was all the haters were looking at Liverpool to be, you must stop Arsenal. Last week it was City, you must stop. It already feels like it's Chelsea, you must stop. Every week has changed for the last 3 weeks, but we're going to get into all that. But I think it's only right to start on the game. But before we start on the game, people, this episode of the Loose Cannons podcast is sponsored by Huel. So you know what to do, people. Show them some love. A balanced diet isn't easy to maintain, but Huel are here to help. The Black Edition range contains all the nutrients you need and at just the right amount. Protein, check. Essential fats, check. Carbs, check. Fiber, vitamins, minerals, check. And yet, you guessed it, check. Lovely. I'm into my 3rd month using Huel, and so far so good. It does the job. I'm on the move a lot, can't always eat goods, and Huel has filled that gap. 1 bottle of Huel's Black Edition, it keeps me covered. Better than fast food, better than meal deals, and it's better on the pocket. Huel's Black Edition formula gives you 17 meals per bag. That's £1.79 per meal. Yeah, £1.79. It's an online exclusive and it cannot be beaten for value. Quote me on that. If you're particular with your flavors, I'm sure Huel have you covered. I've got my chocolate here. Vanilla, iced latte. Jordan's an advocate too. He likes the strawberries and cream. Take a look for yourself. There's a QR code on the screen. It's ready to be scanned. A link pinned in the comments. It's in the description too. Use one of those. And don't forget our code, TLC10. That'll get you £10 off a minimum order of £60. Whether you're already using Huel or looking to get into it, now is the time. Take up the offer and support the Loose Cannons podcast.
Yo, Turkish is getting too slick, you know. He's getting too slick at this. The acting skills were good before, but now they're just a little bit too good. You know what I mean? Opening the bag, the prepping the ting, the read to camera. Nah, rate your ting. Rate your ting.
Hey, come on. Very different to Proton. But listen, big up Huel. Same way. They're a sponsor. They're collabing. They're showing love to the loose cannons. There's a QR code there on the screen. That'll get you £10 off, a minimum £60 order. Like I said before, show them some love. They'll show us some love. That's how the YouTube world goes round. So, you know, if you can and you want to, show them. And I'm not lying, Jordan, actually, I'm going to send over a box of that strawberries and cream. Because, yeah, he called me and said, yo, I need that one because he actually uses it. So he's a true advocate. I've started recently. And, yeah, James is next up on the list. So we'll see how that one goes. And if Laura's a fan, then, yeah, I mean, I've got a few spare bottles, Laura. I don't mind, you know, putting you out too. But, say no more, say no more. But yeah, let's get into it. We've got a lot to talk about. We're already just over 15 minutes in. Hopefully we're already on 1,000 likes. Make that happen. And hopefully Laura's already seeing her subscribers and followers go up on her social media platforms. But Eze, Arsenal, North London derby, hat-trick, 4-1 win, 6 points clear of Chelsea, 7 clear of City, 11 clear of every other big six side, Tottenham, United and Liverpool. And we're in a very good position. If we could write the script of this weekend, we could have probably made it a little better with Burnley getting something from Chelsea. But really, none of us were looking at Chelsea before this weekend, and we'll find out if we're looking at them after. But James, you was at the game. Once upon a time, we used to start with you was at the game. So Lee, so you know, you start and let us know your thoughts on the atmosphere. So James, you was at the game. Let us know your thoughts.
I was at the game. Yeah, Laura, were you at the game as well? Actually,
I was at the game. Yeah.
Look at that,
beautiful.
Perfect. Do you know what? I want to keep it really quick and fly through a few key early points because I'm sure we'll go into depth on everything else. So I won't spend too long on kind of my thoughts on everything. Firstly, like a massive big up to, I mean, so many people, the fans for the noise they made at the ground, the players for the energy they brought, you know, post international break. With what would have been a degree of pressure on them too. It's obviously a big day. Really big up to the club because PSG was embarrassing, you know, the tifo, the occasion, everything. To respond that way, they really said they took it personally, and fair play to them. Because actually, I don't know if I'd have expected that much for just a Premier League North London derby. I mean, I know it's a big game, but it's not like a Champions League semi-final. But they wanted to make a point. They had fan input, big up hand of Arsenal, who called that first. Actually, there was fan input on the tifo, and it was perfect. I don't know about you guys. I know Turkish, you really kind of value those kind of things in football fandom, but to have past and present meet in a graphic design that incorporated celebrations from goals against Tottenham, with at the very top of it all, Sol Campbell himself in a display that faced the Tottenham fans. I thought it was immaculate with the fireworks, the light show, everything. They did a great job. So well done to the club. Go on. Yeah, go.
You missed the best thing about it for me, and that was the old school font. That old school font that I grew up on, that Arsenal. Do you get it? That's on my hand. It's on me for life. So seeing that, you know, represented, because I know it's represented in the club shop and that, but seeing it back there in the Emirates, it made it.
Yeah, and they did it justice with the production. I caught the Sky cameras after, and just the way they kind of panned around it, and it just looked great. So great work. The fans were brilliant too. So before we go into the detail, I'll just say this, and I'll pass on to Laura. I have never seen a more one-sided North London derby in my life, ever. I've never, ever, and that's when Tottenham have beaten us as well, by the way. I've never seen a team more dominant in a North London derby ever. And I've had the pleasure of going to maybe 4 or 5 games a season I go to. And do you remember we used to joke on Forever Arsenal that if I was going to the game, it was going to be an awkward one. We might drop points. Like I've never been to the Emirates and it just be calm. It's always stress in some way, shape or form. Even earlier this season, the Palace game I went to was a 1-0. I've never in my life watched a more dominant 90 minutes of football at the Emirates. That's just me personally. I'm not saying others have, but for me personally. And I've seen us beat Forest 5-0. I've seen us beat Bournemouth 5-1, I think. You know, I've seen us score 5s and 6s I've never seen a more dominant performance in the flesh at the Emirates Stadium in my life. Their goal, that was the only way they were ever going to score, was basically a 1 in 1,000 goal.
Out of nowhere.
Out of absolutely nowhere. I think Tottenham should be embarrassed by that performance. I know they've got injuries. I know they've got a new manager. But even still, I thought that was a disgraceful performance from them. I thought Arsenal were the opposite. I thought Arsenal were absolutely scintillating, thoroughly deserving everything. I didn't hear the Sky commentary because at the game, but I think there was a quote from Gary Neville. He said something like, "Arsenal got what they deserved, and Tottenham did too for what they've done." It was something like that. Did you catch? Yeah. So
Was that
yeah? Is that what he said?
Yeah, it was basically saying that we got the thrashing that we deserved, and they were on the other end of it because they deserved it as well for such a terrible display.
Yeah, it was quite damning, the wording and the way he said it. So I just think for so many, and the Eze hat-trick as well, and you said, how fitting is it, Jordan? I think whatever happens at the end of this season, I believe we are going to go and win it. That will just be a remembered night at the Emirates, and rightly so, because it's not every day that it's probably every year we beat Tottenham, but it's not every year you do it in that manner with that kind of context and narrative around it, with that kind of energy as well. So yeah, those are my kind of initial thoughts. We were brilliant and they were shit, basically.
Yeah, Laura, you were there as well. So like, are you frequent match goer?
Yeah, I've got a season ticket, so I'm above the tunnel, so the tifo is away to my left, and then the away fans are kind of diagonal across from me. I completely agree with the efforts that the club went to. It was meticulous. I'm also a bit of a stickler for detail, and I think the tifo was just phenomenal. They also had, as well as the fireworks, sort of like a flame that went up. I don't know whether you would have seen it on TV, but they've not had that before. They usually have the kind of fireworks. This time they had basically a bright red flame come up every now and then, which again was great. And the atmosphere was phenomenal. I think I'm a very, very nervous fan. I sit there, unless we are 5-0 up, I've got my head in my hands. Like, the people around me take the mickey out of me, because if I'm increasingly nervous, I'll sort of slide down in my seat like this. And even for me, the most nervous of Arsenal fans, I reckon there was about 30 seconds of jeopardy in that whole game. And that was maybe the
Kick-off.
30 seconds. Yeah, kick-off. When we kicked off after Richarlison scored, they maybe won a handful of duels. There was a Raya throw that went straight back to them, which, again, you can count on one hand the amount of kind of moments, which is fantastic from our point of view. But I would be furious if I was a Spurs fan and that was the performance that they put up, not just from a technical standpoint, but the lack of fight, the lack of desire. The only person on that pitch who, and I absolutely hate this player, who kind of got the occasion was Richarlison, but all he could do is basically just be a bit of a nuisance. But that's it. The rest of them, it was tame. It was really, really tame from them. And I think I've seen lots of North London derbies, and I've spent this entire week nervous, because I'm always nervous, and I'm almost annoyed at myself. I'm almost annoyed at myself for being nervous about this. It was so one-sided, and I'm like, you've spent the best part of 7 days in like a fight or flight. I feel quite ill. Like I've got a cold coming. I've got a sore throat. I'm exhausted because I was so nervous in the build up to this. For us to just slap them 4-1, I honestly need to go and give my head a bit of a wobble and really start believing in this side, because I don't know what else it's going to take. But I will remember this forever. And I said to myself before the game, if we can beat Spurs today and it can be convincing, then I will really start believing that we can go on and win the league. Because with the injuries that we've got, the way that we played, I can't see where it goes wrong, she says confidently. But it was, I will remember that for a long time. But I have made myself ill with worry, basically. You can probably hear my voice breaking.
I get it.
I was gonna ask you, I mean, was it the injury to Gabriel that led the nerves on, or you just said you're generally like that anyway? So because the injuries did. I'm
generally like that. It's one of those things where I always think to myself, at some point, this little bubble is going to pop where we haven't lost to Spurs since 2022. One day they might have to have their day where we just have to sit and take it. And for some reason, I got in my head that this might be today, which now looking back on it is absurd. Like they might be unbeaten away before the game, but we are where we are and they are where they are. So I think it's just the added pressure of it being, you know, the day after City play, the day after Liverpool play. I just got it in my head that this could be the time where they turn up and actually play, but I could not have been more wrong, and I'm delighted to be wrong.
Yeah, for one, none of us predicted that. I mean, I think I went 3-0, either here or on the Big Six, but yeah, it wasn't quite 3-0, but 3-goal margin in the end. Jordan, let's bring you in now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we watched it on TV, but massive win, massive game, massive statement.
It was huge, man. And you know, Laura, you mentioned there the fact that we were nervous before the game, and we shouldn't have been. It's actually quite embarrassing that every year we slap Tottenham home and normally away, but yet we kind of go for this thing of, oh, but you never know. It's like, no, we know. We know what's going to happen. Arsenal going to beat Spurs. Like, relax. Like, it's what happens. How big the lead is the question. 1-0, 4-1. But we always go through this. And I think Spurs, I think it's an interesting point because how bad Spurs are is a real interesting microcosm into the quality of the Premier League. If Spurs would have won today, I think they could have gone within the top 4, top 3. They could have gone top 4, I think, if they'd have won today. That team that we just embarrassed could have gone 4th with a win. Man United are looking at top 4 right now. The champions are 11th. Man City can't put a run together, and Chelsea are 2nd. I make that point just to say that I think Spurs being shocking today, but yet not in an awful position in the league, shows us that it's not actually a good league this year. People say, oh, a healthy league is when you have teams that aren't expected to be in the top 5, top 6 in there. Your Sunderland. I'm like, that's the opposite for me. It's a sign of a bad league. I think when you've got smaller clubs with smaller budgets punching above their weight, that's a bad league for me. Now, if Arsenal win the title, Arsenal fans won't really care. I actually care. I want to win. I've won leagues as an Arsenal fan where we've had to really be the best and fight and go.
After 21 years, I couldn't care less if it is.
I know. Turkish, as always, I will be in the minority, and I'm okay with that.
Comments are starting right now. There's about 4 cents.
Yeah, of course. But I'll take it. But it does. But the point I'm making is that we can't. We've previously said about other teams winning leagues easily. Oh, Liverpool, for example. Oh, last year wasn't a really good league, really good season. You won it by default. But when it happens to us, we've got to acknowledge the quality of the season isn't particularly great. Anyway, that aside, 4-1 in a derby, in a local derby, you take that all day long, and it was well deserved. One thing I want to just quickly mention before I kind of rattle through some quick points. I'm loving how normalized now it is. Saka's our captain. We just like, I know Odegaard's out injured, but I'm loving when we walk out, Saka's our captain, and that's kind of normal now. I love the fact that one of our boys, our best player, is leading us out. It just feels like it feels right. We've not really mentioned the fact that Saka is captaining Arsenal, not just once every now and again, but he's on a regular basis now. He's been our captain. I really love that. For me,
that's part of, we might not mention Saka again, but I think that's also part of the journey and where we are now. He's not star boy anymore. He's a man that I feel is ready to, you know, help lead us over the line. Because it's not just him. There's a few leaders there, but I mean, help lead us over the line. But
totally, I agree.
He's been carrying himself that way for a while in the way he speaks in interviews. In actually like a, you know, I don't want to, maybe I'm looking for things, but like in the way he plays the game as well, he seems a little bit more like he's backing himself to, you know, rifle it in the roof of the net against Leeds rather than cut it for Gyökeres. He's trying to take that position of I'm the main guy. Yeah, you can sign Gyökeres, you can sign Eze, you can sign all these players, but I'm the main guy. And I love that. So sorry, carry on, John.
No. I totally agree with that. A lot of my points are going to be seen as quite critical and quite negative.
How?
The reason... What?
How?
Well, let me tell you, they're not actually critical or negative.
I think go one by one. Let's do it.
I think because we're
turn your cameras off, people. Seriously.
I was going to say, where's James gone?
Laura, sorry about this.
Let me finish. Let me land. What I'm saying is because we are so good, we're so good, I'm looking at the small differentials that can make us even better. So I'm looking, we can all wax
Just
lyrical about
enjoy it, mate. Just
no, I'm enjoying
enjoy
you
it.
three can do that. You know, James, you know me by now. You three
I
can do the
know.
whole we're amazing. I'm gonna be the but guy. Right.
Here we go. Was Eze's hat-trick that good?
Yeah. Was it a hat-trick or was it deflected? Should we not have taken one of the goals off because it got deflected?
that's on my list. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Should have had 4, really.
The first one is actually a positive. In these big games, guys, the first thing I always look for is to be competitive, right? So before tactics, before even goals, anything like that, be competitive. Win your headers. If you don't win your first headers, you better win your second headers. Pass in. Don't just pass the ball, first touch. Them things are important for me in big games. From the kickoff, everything on point. We won all of our headers in that first 20 minutes. We didn't lose any aerial duels. Our passing was on point. Our first touch was on point, and that sets the tone for me to think, yeah, okay, these guys they're serious today. That's before tactics and anything else. I want to talk about the fact that, and this was flagged on commentary by Gary Neville as well, there's a lot of times, guys, where Saliba has the ball on the halfway line and he doesn't take a risk. I think one of our big issues is not enough players in that first of it taking risks, the risky pass, the risky drive. They weren't pressing Saliba that much. And at times when in the game, you could clearly see Saliba just trying to ting, just driving through the middle. He didn't do it. He played a safe 5-yard pass to his left. And Neville mentioned it on commentary. Sometimes Saka can't get the ball. Sometimes Trossard can't get the ball. So you might have to just be a bit more brave. And I thought our passing as well in that first 20 minutes, we had a good first 5 minutes. First 20 minutes, I thought we were a little bit safe with our passing until Saka did something on the 32nd minute. He made a movement in behind and someone fouled him and got booked for it. But it was the first time in the first 30 minutes where he ran off the ball into an area where he was saying to somebody, dink the ball in there. They did, and he beat 2 players and got fouled, and the guy got booked. I would love us to do a little bit more of that. There's still a little bit too much safe passing for my liking at times when I think we can afford to make the risky pass and play the risky ball. Declan Rice for 3 minutes.
I think part of that with Saliba, though, because Saliba breaking lines, he is so efficient at it that I think it goes under the radar how good he is. I just think
for a while, though. He hasn't for a while.
I think I'd say this season as well. It's just, I think, firstly, Gyökeres had to get used to the Premier League and things were bouncing off him quite early. And now it's Marino there as well. I think that also plays a part in the confidence you have to, play that ball forward when your striker's not actually there. Because Marino today, who we're going to get onto and give a segment to, deserved, he was all over the gaff. He was everywhere but really up front. So I think Saliba's passing between the lines is one of the best in the league as a centre-back.
I agree, Touch, but sometimes it's not even a pass. It's just the space in front of you. They're saying to you, we would rather man mark Saka and Trossard and Eze. So sometimes you've just got to be like, all right, cool. I'm going to drop. Do you know what I mean? Just a couple of times he could have done it and he didn't. He passed. He stopped, turned and passed to his left. Rice on 3 minutes. This might seem harsh. I think he's got to score that.
He's got to score, yeah.
I agree.
And I want more goals from. I think Rice can get 10, 12, 15 goals. I think he's got it in him. He's got to score that. Did anyone else think that the Eze goal, they were saying on commentary, should have been disallowed? The first one.
You were standing in front of the keeper. He had.
I don't think so either, but they were saying in the studio they thought that it was in the eye line. And I thought, maybe they've got a small shout. No one else.
No, this is just confirmation bias because it's been in 2 recent matches we've talked about it. I think people are looking for it. People are going, right, this is a hot topic. Let's find another example of it. Let's add that to the list. No, it's
that's a fair point.
We can't do this every game.
I thought it was a goal, but I just thought it was worth mentioning because if it was the other way around, we would be talking about it. So I'm just kind of being fair. Just being fair. There's
a good conversation around consistency though, because Van Dijk's was disallowed, and
City.
I think you just have to have a rule, like if a player's in an offside position, because I would argue that if you're a goalkeeper, it is a bit distracting someone even that close to your eye line. Like I can see the argument for it. I can definitely see why some would think it should be disallowed. I'm glad they allowed it to stand because I don't want goals ruled out for that. I think someone has to be so clearly impeding a goalkeeper
I agree.
for them to disallow it. But Laura's right. That's a topic now. But they need to find consistency. And this isn't the show for it, but the PGMOL have had some shockers this weekend. I think Foden quite clearly a penalty. There was some more that we're not talking about, but yeah. They need
Man City were pissed off because they felt the winner, I think, was it the winner or the first goal? I think
the winner was offside.
I thought it was an eyeline thing, but I'm just mentioning it so that we mentioned it.
No. Sorry, carry on.
The first goal from Trossard, you guys, who did that goal remind you of?
Was it Sami Nasri at Fulham?
No.
What? Wait.
Who scored that goal for fun? You know Turkish. Come on. So I don't know how old you are, Laura. So I don't want to be rude and ask your age. So I won't assume you're an old bastard like me. But Turkish, come on. Who did that first goal remind you of? Who made them run?
You're talking about the run, Ljungberg.
Vintage Ljungberg.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking about the finish. But you're talking about the run. It's Ljungberg.
Run. We won titles with Ljungberg making those runs. That's all I saw. All I saw was Ljungberg. And I did apologize, I think 2 pods ago to Trossard. I said, Trossard, yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he's just still trying to mug me up a little bit. I've got to big up Trossard because Trossard is really shutting me up because he was brilliant today. He's being effective. He's making really smart runs. He had a really bad bang to the knee that I thought might take him out. But he seemed to get better from that. And to score that goal, that run, that turn, the finish, I just thought Trossard deserves a little bit of a shout out as well. My last point for now, and I will defer, is we're creating more chances. Apart from a stage in the first half where we kind of was a little bit, we're creating more chances. And for 2 years, all I've been asking for us to do is to create chances. We're actually creating chances now. Now, I'm bearing in mind Spurs play with a back 5 and 2 DMs. It's not easy to break through that. That's hard to break through. But we still created enough chance over the 90 minutes to appease me. We got 4 goals from it. We even the goals aside, we created 2 or 3 other really good goal scoring chances. So I'm liking the fact that we're not only solid defensively, we're actually now offensively creating multiple chances. Final point that I'm going to throw back to Laura, I promise. David Raya, I'm really pissed that we conceded, right? Because I'm the clean sheet don. I was really upset about that. Spurs did not deserve a goal. What is Zubimendi doing? The chef is having a mare there. I don't know what he's doing, trying to go through 2 players. So I'm pissed with him. But we didn't mention it on the last pod, guys, because I've run out of time. But the Sunderland equaliser is a David Raya error. I saw a lot of people blaming Gabriel and error. It's a David Raya error. I don't know why it's coming out. He's made a mistake. And I just wonder, it's because for so many games, he's had so little to do. Is he just getting a bit complacent, a bit bored, and just doing stuff that he doesn't need to do? I'm not saying that he is, but I'm just thinking why are you doing these things? You don't need to always be on the halfway line. Am I being harsh?
Jordan, when I saw the goal,
when
I saw the goal, I thought, how have they done this to you in Hong Kong and again a few months later? But Richarlison couldn't have hit it better. He actually couldn't.
It's a great finish. You have to be like, Joe, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
It is.
I immediately had a go at my brother, who's a goalkeeper, and I was like, I don't know what Raya's doing there. Why is he so? I know. I was emotional. I was stressed, and I was like, why is he off his line? This is I actually think it's the 3rd time it's happened because did we not get lobbed by someone in the Champions League a few years ago?
Europe. Yeah.
Ramsdale, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, that was Ramsdale.
Yeah, and I was just like. Was it Ramsdale?
Maybe not. Maybe there was another game.
I'm sure Raya's been lobbed 2 or 3 times. It's not just but ultimately we have the ball, so he has more than he is in the correct position. It's a Zubimendi issue, and it's also I don't know if he got a shout or something, but in the pub afterwards, someone was saying, I think David Raya's got ADHD because every now and then he just does something completely just not in check with how he behaves. So I think it's just a tiny little warning for me that every now and then he has got a tiny little blip in him. I actually agree. I don't think it's nitpicking. I was furious that we conceded.
Yeah, I agree with Laura in that it was just, the perfect goal. If any blame goes anywhere, it's Zubimendi for me. I think Raya,
Mhm.
he's in the perfect position to receive it. If
Mm.
if Zubi wanted to just release it back to him, but he just took on more than
Mateta.
Ah,
Mateta.
Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah. Yes.
Great memory.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, out of nowhere. Yeah, that's free. That's free.
That was a bad one.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a bad one.
So that was a bad one.
yeah. It was a
Oh,
bad.
David.
And I agree with
Oh,
Jordan.
David. You're David now.
Sunderland, he was at fault for that second goal for sure. Gabriel got beaten to the ball, but regardless, that can happen. Why is Raya all the way out?
Why,
But yeah,
yeah.
not for this game. Richarlison, perfect finish, like just beautiful.
And Arteta might say, Turkish, he might say it's risk and reward, right? Him being so high and almost being our 11th player actually might bring us more benefits than it does negative. So if you get lobbed 2 times a season, but plenty of other times he's the 11th player that gives you an outlet, Arteta might be like, cool, I don't mind giving up 2 halfway line goals every year if we get the other bit. So maybe it's a net positive. But I just thought in a game when Tottenham didn't deserve anything, they didn't deserve a goal. We want to get our clean sheet record back on track. I just thought to give that kind of goal away, I was like, nah, man.
Yeah, it was frustrating. But it never worried me. I know Laura's correct in that for maybe a few minutes after, they just seemed to have a bit of a spring in their step, but they never really, caused any further damage or anything of the like. But let's get into intricate details because we passed 40 minutes in already.
Oh,
And I
my
want
word.
to
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was waffling for that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. To be honest with you, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
But yeah, let's take it back to that first goal where you talked about Trossard, but I think that goal's all about. I called him Lionel Marino, but is it Mikel Messi? We could
Double
say
M. You got some respect on my boy's name.
We could say Messi because that ball, I can't lie to you, that ball was an amazing assist. And I liken it to a Messi, Ozil assist, and they're some of the greatest. Well, Messi is the greatest players of the game, and Marino is often looked at as a signing that's kind of not worked out. But when you look at his productivity for us, more so up front than anything. But even this season, that ball and then the back heel a few weeks ago, that was the key pass, the pre-assist to I think it was Nwaneri's finish with Lewis Skelly. He's adding that little bit of cutting edge in and around the box too. And for me, that ball was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, and I think he deserves his props because he's becoming more involved in the game overall, not just that guy that might pop up and finish a couple chances, but he's getting on the ball and he's working hard. So I think he deserves a little shout out. Obviously, he's your guy, Jordan. And you actually picked him as star man. And when we get into the prediction table, that's boded well for you. So we're going to talk about that. But Mikel Marino, he's doing his thing right now.
I'll let someone else wax lyrical because my thoughts on him. I love the boy, but
yeah.
Laura, what do you think about him? Because I love him, right? And the fan base are a bit.
I love him. I love him as much as I am completely bemused by him because I have no idea. I can't slot him into a kind of predetermined type of player that we're used to, and I absolutely love that. And I think he was particularly good at that today. Today was one of those moments where I'd look up on the pitch and I'd be like, "What? Why is he over there?" Like, we're obviously kind of used to Calafiori roaming around the pitch, but I honestly think Mikel Marino would have run maybe 10, 11, 12 kilometers today. I think he worked so hard. He looked quite gassed at about 70, 80 minutes, which I think is completely fair. But some of the hold up play as well, when we were in that sticky 20 seconds of jeopardy after they'd scored, I think was excellent. He has a calmness about him, which I think is very difficult to defend, because although he's not a kind of like typical footballer, there looks something slightly ungainly about him in the way he moves. It's very, very hard to dispossess. And I think he's just such an enigma across the pitch that it's very, very hard for teams to basically stop what he's doing. So I'm a fan. I could not speak highly of him before this game, but I think today he is probably our maybe unsung hero of the match. Obviously, a lot of the chat will be about Eze, Trossard, but that ball in, and I think how hard he worked across the pitch, given that we don't have Gyökeres and that he's probably likely going to have to play again on Wednesday and again on Sunday. Like, that's a phenomenal asset that we've got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, James, I see he was about to say something about him. But he's a great, listen, he's, before James comes in, great squad player. But is that can you look back, because it feels like you need that sort of a player in your side, yeah? But who can we compare him to in terms of great sides that have won things, and that's a similar player? I don't think there's an Arsenal comparison there in history, because I think maybe profile-wise you might say Edu is maybe the best type of comparison, but Edu didn't get praised for goals and assists when he's playing false nine. So is there across all clubs, like,
is he a bit like, this is so random, is he a bit like Shaqiri at Liverpool? You know, like, was never going to be in that best 11 or first 11. But, you know, when they needed to mix things up, put Salah up front, he could just do a job on the right. Sometimes they play him in the 10. Like, he was never, like, even when they signed him from Stoke for 13 million, people were like, why? That's a bit, I don't know, like, you know, that kind of player. But for whatever reason, Klopp and then the Liverpool fans just kind of grew to love him. Even though he never was like, I don't think he started the Champions League final. He wasn't a regular when they won the league. When he left, I'm not sure he left with kind of much sort of hoo-ha. But I don't know. I kind of see him a little bit like that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, in terms of role more than profile, but I get you.
Yeah. In terms of just the way they feel about him, not really. Very, very different footballers.
Yeah, exactly. Before, I know it's Liverpool fans, supporters of the show too. They was about to write. You know, they've deleted the sentence now because profile-wise, Shaqiri was technically just.
Who knows at this rate? Chuck Marino right wing. I mean, he can do it all.
Against Turkey, Marino bent on him from 25 yards. I saw it.
Yeah, man, put some respect on Marino. You know what? I think the Spurs players as well disrespected him. Look at the goal again, right? He kind of gets the ball. He's kind of back to goal. There's 3 men around him, and they all back off. Because they're thinking, what are you going to do? They all kind of back off. He turns and then dinks it. Like, that's what I'm going to do. So, like, I don't think even the Spurs man rated him. Like, okay, you're this midfielder playing up front. You're kind of in a 10 role. Nah, we haven't got to press you quickly because you're not going to go past us. What are you going to do? And that's what he did. So I think a lot of people just kind of think of him as like an okay player, but his technique is really, really good. I agree with that. We said it before we started recording Turkish or at the start. His positioning as a striker at times is awful because, as Laura said, he's everywhere often apart from in the striker role.
Where we need him to be.
Where he needs to be. But I give him a little bit of grace because he's not a striker. But when he gives moments like that today, or the goal he scored against, who did he score recently against? He scored a big goal recently against somebody. I kind of give him
the header.
No, it was more recent.
Header at Newcastle.
Yeah, header at Newcastle. Fucking hell, what a goal that was.
Yeah, he, you know, when he does get in the right positions, he's really effective. So yeah, man, big up Double M.
But you notice we kept that was the area of the pitch we were hurting Spurs, basically in the 10. They just because we overran them in midfield, and Rice and Zubimendi were everywhere. I think I know Marino was an unsung hero, I agree, but I thought Zubimendi and Rice were phenomenal today. Marino, you know, Eze with that chip pass to Rice, Marino with obviously the assist for the first goal. I just felt we kept getting the ball in that area. I mean, the second goal is the same. Eze dancing through 2 players, and you know, it's kind of the area of the pitch that I feel we struggled. We don't really get the ball into players there, but we kept finding players time and time again in that area. I think Henry might have even done some analysis on it on Sky. By the way, so random. I love when we perform like that under pressure and Thierry Henry's in the building. Because he is quite critical, let's be honest, and I don't disagree with a lot of what he says. But, you know, he holds us to a very high standard. And, you know, he's rocking up expecting as much as he is supporting. And I mean that with love. Like, that's the part he should play as a club legend. So to play like that and do him proud with the tifo as well and the performance. Yeah. Anyway, complete side point. But yeah.
No, I mean, with Henry watching, all of us watching, you know, none of the players made us prouder than what Eze done in this game. You know, similar to Saka going into the Sunderland game where people were questioning, you know, productivity, performance over 90 minutes, and Saka coming of age since that game, England international duty, I think today also played his part. But Eze as well, a lot of talk about him. Has it gone well? Does he need to do more? By far his best goals aside, which you can't really put aside a hat-trick against Tottenham, but performance-wise, the amount of times that he was, you know, that second ball winner in and around the box from corners and free kicks, and he could have had 5 goals like that, but in the end he ended up with a hat-trick. I think during the stream it was the first hat-trick in a North London derby since '78, and that's just off the top of my head if I'm not mistaken. But
crazy like that.
But Eze, I mean, this is what we bought him for. This is what we bought him for. Those moments, those types of finishes. I mean, we're going to talk about each goal, but I mean, I'm going to pick out that second one and say that finish, weaker foot, bottom corner, beautiful. And even the third one, when it's a chance for a hat-trick, to drop a shoulder on a doggy, send him flying, look up at the goal and pick your finish. You know, some strikers just bang it, some attackers just bang it, and I get that it works for a lot. To look up, pick your spot, and bury it the way he did for his hat-trick. Listen, that match, I mean, I think Laura said she'll remember it forever. That match, we'll all remember it forever, and that is the biggest part. This is the biggest part of this match, that Eze hat-trick. Seeing it in person must have been something as well, because, you know, off the top of my head, I remember when we beat Tottenham 4-2, and Torreira scored and Oba scored, and the atmosphere that day was mad. But you know, I'm kind of envious that I wasn't there for this one, even though I had to do my thing for Big Six, and I enjoyed that, and you know, seeing Tobes in tears. But to see that Eze hat-trick in person, I don't know who to go to first. James, Laura, James is there.
No, sorry, I just want to say, I think for the goal that was scored straight after half time, which I think was his second goal, right?
Yeah, second.
It was so quick after half time. I don't think Peter, the stadium announcer, was back in his seat. Genuinely, I've got footage of it. By the time we had run back to you know, they'd kick off again, he still hadn't done the kind of goal scorer, and I'm like, he's still in the toilet. He's not ready to come back after half time. Like, there was just the kind of, is he going to announce the goal? And then about 15 seconds into play, he comes in with it. So it took him by surprise as well.
That's funny.
Oh, bless him.
The timing of that goal was excellent as well, on top of the finish and the difficulty of it, the timing, because Tottenham had made a few attacking subs at half time, you know, so it just nullified all of that and just shut the game down, essentially. James,
I was going to say, that other North London derby you referenced, the 4-2. So those are the 2 North London derbies, the only 2 I've ever been to. So just keep finding me tickets, guys, because apparently it all goes well when I go to those. It goes to shit when I go to any other. But yeah, you know what Eze did? It's so weird because, you know, again, the narrative after this game will be Eze was unbelievable. And like, I mean, of course, he scored a hat-trick in North London derby, but he did today what Eze can do, and he's been doing for most of the season what Eze can do and what he's about, which is he's not going to get on the ball. Shout out Jess. She said it when she came on Loose Cannons. Ødegaard is a high touch player. Eze's more low touch. I think it would have been fair to say that Eze wasn't really doing that much before the goal. Now, to be fair, lots of great drops of the shoulders, lots of, like, you could tell he was involved. You could tell he looked lively. He was working very hard. But it wasn't really happening for him. He wasn't running the game in the way an Ødegaard might when he's at his very best. But Ødegaard at his very best probably isn't scoring a hat-trick like that in the North London derby. Very different players. I think when Gyökeres is ahead of Eze, there's maybe more a need for him to be a 10 type. But with Marino, they can almost interchange between, well, who's the finisher to the move? So there was a lovely kind of balance there. But again, you know, this is where results-based analysis, Eze will get loads of plaudits because he scored a hat-trick, and deservedly so. But the reality is that, you know, his probably all-round game today, there are probably still other little things he could have done a little bit better at times. But then where people have been critical in the previous weeks, he's probably been better than people have said. Just maybe they've not seen the moments. They've not given him the credit for it. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? Like, where people have been critical, he's been better. And then again, tonight, like, there were definitely moments where I thought, you know, you're our 10, get on the ball, try and, but he absolutely was trying. The thing is, he's playing with 2 holding midfielders and 3 centre-backs behind. So it's difficult. What you ask of a player like Eze when you sign him is that when that moment does break for him, composure, hit the target, because that's what he's known for doing throughout his whole Premier League career at Palace and now at Arsenal. He has delivered as a flop signing up to the 23rd of November, are we 12 game weeks into the Premier League season? Was that number 12?
Yeah.
So an assist for Gyökeres at Forest, an assist for the equaliser against Man City, a winner against Palace at the Emirates, a hat-trick in the North London derby. Like he's already proven what he can do. But the reality is, it probably won't get miles better. I think this is how he will be. Lots of moments.
Just before Laura comes in, sorry, James, I think you're right. I don't think you've named his best game. I think his best game was Newcastle.
Yeah, actually, probably in terms of the all-round, yeah.
Yeah, he was brilliant in that game. So I don't think this was his good game, but the hat-trick, it's hard to kind of argue with someone saying that he wasn't brilliant today because he was brilliant. But yeah,
he was amazing, but yeah.
Don't you think maybe I'm being too general here, but it feels like everything's roles now. Because even when we talk of Saka over the years, there isn't many 90-minute performances. It's more, chunks of the game that he's having a big impact in. Because the way we play and the way we manage the game and how important it is to pass it around and pull people left, right, and center and all of that. Is it the way we play that also, stops anyone from having a 90-minute performance? Because it's not about an individual having a 90-minute performance. It's more so the roles and the cogs doing what they need to do for the machine to work.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's a moments guy. Like it really just does boil down to, and that's kind of what we were missing last year, and it's what we've missed for several years. It's like I've always said, I genuinely do not care if Gyökeres drops a 0 out of 10 for 90 minutes and then scores. That's absolutely fine for me. And I agree. I actually, before Eze's first goal today, was having a discussion with the guy who sits next to me about how I was slightly underwhelmed by him. And then by the end of the game, I'm like, wow, I look really, really, really silly because he's now scored a hat-trick. One, I think he could have scored 4. It's a good save, but that one, I think after he's got his hat-trick, he could have had another one. And 2, I think he sort of was growing in confidence throughout the game, but I still just want to see him get more involved. But I actually agree. I don't think he's a high touch player, and it's just quite strange to have to get used to Odegaard, who is constantly moving, touching the ball, involved, starting the play, versus a player like Eze, who, might go a little bit quiet for 5-10 minutes. But I do think he, particularly in the middle of the park where, they were getting maybe like a couple of the duels, also played really well there in terms of winning the ball back. So for me, it's just, I think he's a moments guy, and we just need to accept that and enjoy the moments that he produces.
I think though, and he's not getting this position anytime soon because Trossard was sensational today. But I think it's that role that he will become more of will become more impressed with his general performances. I thought against Forest on the left it was Odegaard for about 20 minutes. Then when Eri came on, because Odegaard got his 9th shoulder injury of the season. So I think it was Eze, Odegaard, Madueke started behind Gyökeres. And I thought on the left in that game, Eze was more getting the ball, able to kind of show some goal, drive past a few players. I think he is. Everyone keeps saying he's a 10. For me, he's a bit more winger than 10, but only because I see my 10s more in the mold of an Odegaard. But when he does show the bravery, like he showed against Newcastle when he came on Odegaard. So anyway, it's just what an abundance of talent we have, because I thought Trossard was so low down the pecking order going into the season. Now he's our best attacker. Some might put him up for one of our best players this season. He's in unbelievable form.
Been our most productive, I think, if you look at minutes and goals, assists. Yeah, probably. Well, Eze's hat-trick might have changed that, but I mean, he popped up for a few big moments. The same way you reeled Eze's, I think Trossard's had a few off the bench and starting now as well.
But the all-round contribution, was it Trossard who kind of drifted to the right in the build-up to the second goal? I think he does something brilliant down the. I might be talking complete nonsense. Maybe it wasn't in the goal. I can't remember. There's a few times where he floated around the pitch, and I just thought he was moving like Santi Cazorla at times.
He got the assist.
Trossard got an assist. Yeah, for Eze. Yeah, for this.
Eze's third goal. Yeah.
I think some of his first touches today were like vintage Trossard. Like sometimes you're like always, sometimes it's slightly heavy, but today I think basically taking the ball on the first time into space on repeat, I was like, wow, Trossard is really, really on one today. And I owe him an apology because I've been running my mouth a little bit over the summer about how I
Join the
think you
club.
passed it.
Join-
So,
join the
you
club,
know, you've
join
got
the
to admit
club.
when you're wrong. And yeah,
Yep.
like Leandro, you didn't let us down today. You didn't let Anne Hathaway down. I'm sorry.
You didn't rate the pay rise.
Yeah.
Weird
That was-
move, but fine.
Yeah.
Worth it for today.
Yeah. That's how you look at it. Yeah.
Just bringing it back, sorry, Turkish, to Eze. I mean, you think of like Wright, Bergkamp, Henry, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Merson, some of the best attackers we've had, Giroud, over the years. They've all scored in North London derbies, but a hat-trick is an absolute madness. To do it in your first,
Giroud.
He got plenty of goals in North London. Listen, don't make me start on Giroud. You know, Giroud's my other guy. He's in my team as well.
No,
Respect
but
him.
you went mad with that list, though. I have to agree with
Yeah,
James.
he probably got more goals in North London derbies than the older guys I've just mentioned.
No, but bro, you said Henry, Wright, Bergkamp.
I'm naming scorers in North London derbies.
And you said Lacazette as well. I'm thinking, bro, this can't be in the same sentence. Like, it's all mad.
My point,
I'm fact checking this
I get
too.
you.
I can remember 2 goals in North London. You might be right, but I'm checking.
I'm going to go for 4 or 5. But while you're checking that, let me finish my point. The point I'm making is that to score a hat-trick in a North London derby is
Crazy.
an absolute madness. So, like, your first one as well, that is just ridiculous. Fair play. And the whole narrative as well, he turned Tottenham down and whatever, just makes it even more funny. But just big
It
up.
was perfect. Jordan, we danced on their grave today. Like, it wasn't just...
Wow.
What's that?
No, I love it. I love it. It's just unusual coming from you. Such a sentence.
It was. Came from nowhere. It's like,
We
wow.
danced on their grave
He
today.
just came out of the bazooka.
That's like,
No,
I'd say like, well,
No, but like, hold on.
It's beautiful. No, it's beautiful.
It was poetic. It
I got a
was.
tear in my eye.
Yeah, I loved it.
You know that GIF of the fire, like the fire, the pen on fire.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There we go. I might release a diss track tomorrow.
You're on the roll.
Like, you got to think, it's bad enough losing North London derby. It's bad enough losing 4-1. It's bad enough having Sol Campbell standing above you in the tifo before. It's bad enough knowing that it's a win that takes Arsenal 6 points clear of Chelsea, 7 of City, and 11 Liverpool. But just the icing on the cake, the guy who you thought you were about to sign, who we have a chant, you know, just what's the word? Like, you know, taunting Tottenham about, you know, the fact that you thought you were going to get this guy and you didn't because he wanted to come to us so desperately, scores a hat-trick. I mean, I'm enjoying this tonight because I don't know how many better days there will be.
It's that meme from The Simpsons where it's like he's already dead. Like,
He's
already dead. We're just piling on. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
It can't get better.
He's already dead.
It's true. It's true. And like, I know football, what goes around comes around. I'm sure there will be. I'm sure they'll have their laugh one day. But I just think today, like, it couldn't have gone better. And what will top it is, I mean, who knows what, you know, this season has in store for us, but it will hopefully be the crowning moment. We can have nights like this to reflect on that journey. I will buy that DVD. I hope they release one.
I might make it.
Premier League years, when I watch that back in 2036. Oh,
Do you know what as well? Sorry, that they will absolutely include that Richarlison goal on like montages of the best goals in the North London derby.
They will.
Completely out of context, and it's like you.
But we know,
enjoy your
Laura.
moment.
We remember.
We all know.
We know.
You enjoy
They
your
always-
moment, okay?
they always walk away with a world-class goal, like the Lamella.
Oh yeah.
What's that goal called when you
Rabona.
right? Like, great, you know, and he gets sent off like after. Like,
Yeah, he did.
They have a catalogue of unbelievable goals against us in defeats, and some of them wins, but certainly quite a few in defeats.
Just finally on Eze as well, because the hat-trick was amazing, and I want to big him up, right? Because I was really, when we signed him, I was very excited. But for more reasons beyond football, I just think he feels like Arsenal. But if I'm to be a little bit critical, if you look at the second goal again as well, I watched it quite a few times. I don't think he wants to shoot. I think he gets it, and I think he's trying to look for someone on the right to lay it off to, and then he kind of realizes no one to pass to. His feet kind of go through a madness. He just bang, hits it, whatever. I want Eze, to kind of Turkish's point earlier on, I want him to take more risk. I want him to be the guy in that 10 role that just gets the ball in those pockets and feels free. forget the system, forget what you're supposed to do, get on the ball and just do something. It's really nice watching Arsenal play now. And Saka's not our only threat. Trossard's doing a madness. Eze's getting a hat trick. Marino's even doing a madness up top. I'm loving that we've got multiple weapons now. I would just like the players, especially Eze, because I'm with Laura, up until the goal, I thought he was a little bit anonymous. I thought he was a little bit.
He played the ball for Rice.
Should have had an assist.
He did. He did. True. But in terms of, all right, yeah, that's true. But that aside, in that first half an hour, I don't think he really did anything. And whilst we do say he's a moments player, I agree. But I need a bit more than one possible assist in half an hour. And I think that what I want from him is to just be a bit more free. And that goal, the second one for me, epitomized the fact that I don't think he was thinking about shooting. I just think it kind of happened and he finished it.
I have to disagree. For me, he done it. He done it so quick. The touch and then the shot that it was instinctive for me. And that's why that was my favorite goal. I am weary of time. We've always passed an hour, but I want one more name, and stop me if I'm wrong in mentioning this name, because everyone that played a part in a 4-1 against Tottenham deserves some credit. Some players more than some, because Marino example, Eze example, but I think Timber, another performance that for me out of this world. The levels, the standards that guy brings each and every game, anytime he touches that pitch, it's something else. Because listen, our defensive unit is something else. But over the years, Saliba and Gabriel have both had moments. Do you get what I'm saying? Timber, for me, never has a moment. He always manages to just come out of it with the ball, with a free kick, do spin on it and just look like he's in trouble, then play a pass. For the first goal, his pass to Marino was actually a very good pass. He had to turn away from 3 man. And then with his weaker foot, left foot, he played it kind of, between the lines, and Marino got it, and that's where the assist came from. And he got the assist for Eze's second goal as well. That on top of the defensive work he does, I think Timber, again, putting Eze's goals aside, Timber was the man of the match, outside of Eze being man of the match, obviously. Before the
well, you're right to mention the defensive unit, because as we said, I'm the same as Laura. I'm quite a nervous fan. Even at 3-0, I genuinely have to be 4-0 up with 10 minutes to go. And that I'm being deadly serious for me to feel like remotely relaxed. But the defensive unit as a collective of 11 players, but also the fact that we did press Tottenham, it was a bit awkward when they play wing backs, because it's like, oh, who's picking up who? But we were really aggressive. You're right to mention Timber. Hincapie, man, what a fool.
I thought you were going to say Hincapie, yeah.
That's true. Sorry, yeah. He's another one to mention.
Yeah, take it away, Laura. And actually, while you do, mention Calafiori as well. I thought and Saliba. I mean, genuinely,
everyone
so good, all of them. I thought Calafiori was so good on the ball today. Just like he was having fun. But Hincapie, I couldn't believe how dominant he was, because I know he's like 6 foot, right? So I was about to say he's not that tall. I mean, listen, I'm like 5'9", but he's clearly tall. But for Premier League centre-back level, I don't think he's not like 6'6". No. But he dominated aerially so much. Great in the ground duels. He was so good today.
Laura, you want
I think as well. Like given that this is his first start in the Premier League, like he's playing the league. To do that in a North London derby, I don't think you can underestimate how he's dealt with that pressure. I think Calafiori was on his usual kind of BS today, which is just chaos, but also playing the ball. I think that relationship with him and Trossard was really, really good today. There was lots of like nice interchanges. He's also quick in terms of kind of maybe not kind of ground speed, but in terms of moving the ball between him and Trossard. The only thing I'd say with the Calafiori today is I think both of the long throws were diabolically bad. So if we're gonna nitpick, that'll probably be my one. That one of them I don't think beat the first man, etc., etc. But Hincapie, fair play to you, like coming on in a game of that size and just doing an absolute lock-up job. Fair enough.
What are you screwing your face about, Jordan?
I thought Hincapie was good. And if you look at, I think it's the third goal, it's his header where he bosses, I think it's the third goal, where he bosses Richarlison and gets it into a player that I think was a third goal. Anyway, it comes from him just winning his aerial duel. I watched him because I'm thinking, okay, let me see how this guy fares on his debut in a North London derby. He had nothing to do. Like, he was good. But I think to wax lyrical about him or single him out implies that defensively he did more than he could have done. But he couldn't have done much because he didn't have to do much.
No,
so
but
I think he was solid. I'm not sure he deserves singling out.
I think from a positional standpoint, though, I actually agree. Spurs offered pretty much nothing going forward. However, they could have targeted him because he's obviously new to the lineup. I think positionally, he is just constantly in the right place, which means that he didn't have to do anything. I do agree, though, that, you know, fair enough.
But like, I think it's the flip, Laura. I think it's more he didn't have to be positionally good because Spurs were so bad.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I think
maybe I'm being harsh again, but I didn't come away from that game having watched him quite closely. And you guys were there, so I guess you guys have a different view, a better view than I do.
I'm watching Calafiori, man. I'm not watching Hincapie.
Okay, fair enough. I just didn't watch him thinking, yeah, there's 4 or 5 parts of that game where he was exceptional. I think he was solid.
No, I thought he was really top in his duels, and him and Saliba were so dominant on Richarlison, Kudus, whoever, that Spurs couldn't get a foothold. Like, as much as we say, oh, they played a back five, did they really take the game to us? Look, Arsenal have actually had problems against back fives. Like, I don't necessarily think it has to be a defensive formation, but they just had no outlet because Saliba and Hincapie ate everything up. So I thought he was, again, a bit of an unsung hero. I know you want to move on to, can I just ask you one? It's a quick quiz. I want to ask you what Arsenal player you think this is in the Premier League this season. Aerials won in the 84th percentile and percentage of aerials won in the 91st percentile. What that means is he's in the top 9% for percentage of aerials won in the Arsenal squad. Who do you think that is?
Did he start today?
Yeah.
91%. So top 9% aerial.
Top 9% for percentage of aerials won at 69%.
Saliba.
All right, Jordan.
It's not Saka, is it?
All right, Laura.
Declan Rice.
All right. The answer is Martin Zubimendi. And if there's one thing I came away from in that game, I thought, fuck me, this guy wins a lot of headers. And I first clocked him when he towered over Dan Burn a couple months ago. I went,
oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But if you watch the way Timber and Calafiori went to press the wing backs and Zubimendi covered, I know he made the error for the goal. He got tackled. They scored. I think that's a freak moment. More often than not, you're not punished for that. I thought he was masterful in midfield today. He kept it simple. There was nothing really special, but like everything ran through him. And the reason Arsenal could be so aggressive was because of him and Rice's understanding of where to be. But winning aerial duels, winning ground duels, keeping everything really neat and tidy in midfield. I just wanted to give him a shout out. I thought he was honestly magnificent. And I'm not trying to do this down. It's a very wanky thing to say sometimes, but I do wonder if sometimes if you watch it in the flesh, you get a different perspective. Because I was watching him going, oh my God, what a footballer. Like, I was really like in awe of his performance. I'd love to know if people in the comments thought the same, or if maybe Laura, you did, but I just wanted to bring him up. And those stats like blew me away. But I looked them up because I thought this guy wins so many headers. So I'm not surprised that they're that high, actually.
What wasn't his mistake very similar to Jorginho in a North London derby? My bugging.
Different. Jorginho kind of dwelled on the ball, and then like there was 2 running at goal. This was like a good tack from Paulinho. He's a very good.
I'm not thinking him out. I'm just thinking. I'm sure.
Jordan, listen, mate.
I'm not trying to think him out. I'm just saying.
I miss Jorginho, man. What a guy. He deserved to be a part of this.
No, I'll give it a rest, man. All right, people, we'll keep it moving on that note. Jorginho coming back and missing him.
Bring back Jorginho.
I don't know how he got here. It's close to midnight, but that's probably why. Cool. Hit the like button. Hopefully we're on 1,000. We should be now. 1 hour 14 minutes in. So make that happen. Jordan, not now.
Sorry. Quick one. Super quick one. Because Laura mentioned it at the start, and it's true.
At the start, an hour 15 minutes.
No. I know, but I lost my thread, but I've come back around. she mentioned the fact that everyone was gassing up Tottenham's like really good away record. I think they're the best in the league away from home. But in that whole conversation, no one mentioned the fact that we're really good at home. Did anyone else notice that? Like, everyone was so busy focusing on Tottenham. They're really good away. You never know. You never know. I'm like, yeah, but we're really good at home. So,
yeah, when you're on the perch and people are trying to knock you off, they're going to focus on what the others can do because we're good home anyway.
Yeah.
So that's really what it was. But we move. And before we move on to Chelsea in the Premier League, we've got Bayern Munich in the Champions League. And listen, the bulk of that conversation will be on Thursday's show. Obviously, after the fact and before the Chelsea game, we'll review that one. But in terms of Bayern, listen, we had Noni on the bench today. He came on for some minutes. Obviously, a bit ahead of Martinelli in terms of return to match fitness. But looking at Bayern Munich, looking at what we have available, what's coming back in or what's come back in this game against Tottenham today. Laura, let's start with you. We've got a massive game against Chelsea coming up next week, a game that could, pretty much eliminate them from any title talk too, as well as Liverpool, who I think are eliminated right now. This Bayern game comes at a time where, listen, we're reeling off this 4-1 win, but we have got a few injuries to certain key players that have left this big squad in a precarious position in a couple of areas. How do you look at this Bayern game? How strong do you go for it? Like, what sort of lineup do you expect to see or want to see?
The priority has to be Chelsea. I think I've seen lots of discussion on social media about, if we had to lose one of these 3 games, which one would it be? It's got to be Bayern, because I understand the kind of, we want to finish as high as we can, and also this would be our first kind of test against a real big side in the Champions League. But for me, Chelsea is the one, and I'm not sure whether between now and Sunday that we're playing Chelsea, isn't it? Whether we are going to get the likes of Gyökeres, Odegaard back. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, we can't really rotate a huge amount because we don't have the players, and I think it's irresponsible to kind of shove Max Dowman on there in front of Bayern Munich. That doesn't feel like the right thing to do. But at the same time, Mourinho has run like his little heart out today. So basically, I'm going to sit on the fence. Say I don't know, but I would quite happily, if we lose to Bayern, I'll get over it. But if we lose to Chelsea, don't love that scenario.
Bit more damning. All right, you've passed it on. So James Jordan, let me ask in a different way. Because I expect we all think similarly to Laura that the Bayern game this week is the lesser of the 2 evils, let's say, in terms of we got 2 massive games coming up, but one probably has more of an impact on the now than the other. Like the Champions League, top 8, February, March time is the time to take it serious. And I don't even think rotating is essentially throwing the game. I think our squad is so good and we have, such a strong defensive unit, the platform, we can still get something out of a game. But 2 players that you don't expect to see starting against Bayern because we've got Chelsea on Sunday, James.
I think Gyökeres will be back. Arteta said he was really close and Odegaard. So I actually think he'll give Gyökeres maybe even a start. Like, ultimately, the amount of weeks he's missed. I mean, people were saying he's benefiting from not playing, I think, the week before Burnley or something, and he came back looking good. So I think if Gyökeres is fit and good to go, I think he'll give him a start. And I think he'll maybe give Madueke a start, give Saka a rest. I don't know how much Saka will love that. I even wonder whether you could do like a Ben White for Timber, a Lewis Skelly for Calafiori. I mean, there could be 3 or 4. I don't think that necessarily weakens us. I mean, obviously, Madueke is not Saka, but otherwise, some good players coming in there.
I agree with every one of those, if I'm honest with you. But then we start teetering on the edge of, because then I thought Mosquera for Saliba, considering how important Saliba is now with Gabriel out, you don't really want to be messing about. But then if you change Mosquera, Lewis Skelly, and Ben White, your defense is. But then we change the defense against Brighton, albeit it's not Bayern in the League Cup, and they still managed to keep a clean sheet. So it's so up in the air, Jordan.
Saliba just had a rest against Spurs, so I'd play.
Hey,
good one. Where's the drum?
Spurs fans are gonna fucking kill me. Listen, I'm the lesser of the evils. Okay, I'm just having a bit of fun.
We got effects now. Is that what we're
We
doing?
got there. We got there. We got
Wow.
there.
Are we that podcast? Is that what's going on
No.
here? Yeah.
Can't get a good intro, but we got sound effects.
Hey, leave my intro alone. We're gonna get a good intro soon. I done that with my bare hands.
For me, I'm not changing the fullbacks. They remain the same. If anyone in that back line changes, I agree. It probably would be Saliba.
Jordan, Calafiori and Timber. You
Nope.
wouldn't protect Timber, who's
Nope.
played 60 games since an ACL.
I agree with the general premise that this particular match isn't essential in terms of our progression in competition. If we lose it, it's not going to affect our qualification chances. But I don't want to lose this game. I will say, as much as everybody else, I think here despises Spurs the most, and I get that. For me, it's Chelsea. Chelsea, the team that I despise more than any team. I want to bruck up Chelsea on Sunday, more than even Spurs. Honestly, you have no idea the feeling I have towards Chelsea. And the fact that we could win that game on Sunday and put it would be a 9-point gap between us and them. I mean, they're not in the race for me. They're just not in the race. But if we can beat them, no one will be happier than me. But I also think we have to be very careful about taking our foot off the gas a little bit. We've got to be smart. I get that. But I'm not into this tiptoeing business play somewhere near your best team. Try and beat Bayern Munich. The boost you might get from beating Bayern Munich might even help you when against Spurs. I hear the whole injury thing to a degree, but what's the point in having a big squad if we're not going to be able to use our squad? If Saka gets injured, worst case scenario, that's a big blow. That's a big blow. But Noni Madueke has proven that he can do something. If you lose Declan Rice, that's a blow. I get it.
Madueke hasn't proven he can replace Saka yet.
I didn't say that. What I mean is that he said he can do something. So he can for a game or two, he can do something. I want Saka, Rice, all the big boys to be there, but I don't want to be getting beaten up by Bayern Munich 3-1 at home. I don't want that. I want to win the Champions League and the Premier League. So for me, sacrificing a possible win against Bayern Munich and messing up her momentum for fear of losing a couple of key players, for me, I'm not feeling that. I get why some people would. I get it. I totally get it. But for me, I want to beat Bayern Munich. I want to beat Bayern Munich. And I think if you get and play your team and then take players off. But I think it's also mentality. If you start dropping 4 or 5 key players in your team, the mentality it says to the team is, nah, we're not as bothered tonight. And that has an impact on how you play. But if you go with your big guns in your first team, that's saying to the squad, no, go and beat the best team in Europe right now. They're probably the best team in Europe. Go and beat them. And I trust you to beat them. If we lose, we lose. Injuries happen. Cool. But right now, we've got a squad that's supposed to be able to manage a 7 days like we've got Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea. So for me, I'm saying play somewhere near your best team. Play your best team, man, and beat Bayern Munich. Don't cower. Don't worry about injuries. That's my view.
Okay. Bear in mind, we're coming up to this crunch Christmas period, and
I hear it.
There's a break this winter, if I'm not mistaken, or it's only like a 10-day break, if that. No international break till March. So I'm just considering all these things and how unlucky we've been with injuries so far this season. That there's players like Timber, Rice, they both stand out as, as much as we've got depth, those 2 players, with Ben White still not showing that he can be week in, week out relied upon. We ain't got a replacement for Timber like that. And with Declan Rice, it'll be Marino in there, and he's completely different. So I still think there's some positions that, as much as our squad is massive, we've still got to be smart about it. But listen, I'm not a physio. I'm not an expert in the background. They should know. Hopefully they do know. So let's do some predictions. And on that note, let me get the table up, because we started recognizing the predictions just last show. The table stands as it is on screen. For the audio listeners, Jordan is on 3 points. I'm on 1 point with James. And obviously the guest points is also tallied, and the guest is also on 1 point. So I'm going to hand it over to James here to explain how the point scoring system works. A heads up, we're predicting each and every game, but we're also picking 1 player each that can also add additional points to the table. That's how Jordan's on 3 points. But over to James to explain.
Okay, so I think we should get a graphic made. Shout out, Max.
Sorry. sorry, James, because he's showing off. Laura, we've done this podcast for 4 years, yeah. I've won the league twice, so I had 2 stars. James won the league twice, he had 2 stars. Lee, he had 1 star. The guy that's doing this to the camera now, how many stars he gets?
Laura, do you know who won the title in 1987? No one cares, right? Before the Premier League, no one remembers anything, right? Pre-Premier League, no one gives a damn. So right about now, the previous wins that Turkish is claiming, no one cares.
I like that.
He's calling us first division champions, mate.
Yeah,
I was about to say, is this our European Cup that we clearly won? This is ours, is it? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Got it.
He's trying it. Go on, James. Let them know how the point system works, if you can, in layman terms.
Well, we wanted to mix it up. We'll speak to Max about a graphic that maybe we could have on just every time to remind people. But honestly, it's actually quite simple. It's the same. If you get the exact result, or if you get the exact score, you get 3 points. If you get the score, you get a point. That's how we've always done it. But everyone gets to pick a key player. Now, last time we did it where everyone could pick the same one. I think maybe we should mix it up so you have to pick someone different, but we can hash that out in a couple of minutes if you want. I don't know.
I think it's good that if you can pick the same as well, though, because it'll make it more intriguing, I think.
Cool. So I've tried to keep it simple, but there are little things that kind of add an element of strategy, a little bit like fantasy football. If your star player chosen scores, you get 4 points. If they get an assist, you get 2 points. Jordan's star player was Mikel Merino. He got the assist for Trossard, so he got an extra 2 points on top of the 1 point for guessing the result, but not the exact score. You minus a point for a yellow card. So if Merino had got a yellow in this game, which he didn't, I actually thought he did, but he didn't, then you only would have got 1 point because it would have been 2 minus the 1, you will get it. Minus 3 points for a red card. And then this is where it gets a touch more complicated. You get 2 points if your player keeps a clean sheet, but that player has to be a defender or a goalkeeper. If the defender or goalkeeper, if that happened, would be incredible. If the defender scores or gets an assist, they get the points on top of that. So you could be strategic. If you need to make up a load of points, you think Gabriel might get a goal and keep a clean sheet, you can rack up more points. You get it. It's minus 2 points for giving away a penalty. That's any player on the pitch. So that's how it works. We'll get a little graphic made. It's not too complex. Just a reminder that only defenders can get the 2 point. Defenders or the goalkeeper can get 2 points for the clean sheet. So that's it. There we go. Just to mix it up. So you can rack up a lot of points in one round, but it's high risk, high reward.
Cool. Hopefully you've understood that, people. And what we'll do is get a graphic made and post it to the community, so it's always here on this channel. So for reference, people can go back to it to understand it a bit better. But as we go with every new game, you'll learn. We'll play along together, and you'll get it. But yeah, Jordan's top. So we start with Jordan for Bayern Munich and work our way down the table. Jordan, right. Bayern Munich prediction and star man.
I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the star man will be... I'm going to go Trossard. I'm going to go Leo.
Trossard. Let me get that in real quick. James?
I'm going to go 2-2. And I'm going to go Declan Rice.
Oof. Okay. You've both pretty much taken the draws, so I've got to take one of them off you because I don't think we're gonna win this one. Then again, I haven't checked actually Bundesliga. What big game would they have this weekend? Let me go. I can't predict us to lose. Not when I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. 1-1, and I'm gonna go Madueke. Laura?
I'm gonna give us the win. I'm gonna go 1-0.
Okay, 1-0.
And I was gonna go Declan Rice. Now, did you say we can't have the same player, or we can?
You can.
Right, I'm gonna go Declan Rice.
Cool. Okay, cool. There you go, people. 3 draws predicted and a win predicted from Laura. Couple Rice Star Mans. We've got Trossard there too and Madueke. And I'm hoping that Trossard doesn't start this game because he does need a bit of a rest, if I'm honest with you. So that's why I wanted to move it on quickly from Jordan to James. But yeah, play along in the comments. Give us your predictions. Put a Star Man there as well. And obviously, we go through comments of the day each and every week. And that's the segment we're on now. Have we all got a comment? I've got one here.
Yeah, I'll fly in quickly with this one. RGV says, nice of Darren Bent to record in Foot Asylum storeroom. And James in an IKEA. And you can tell it got to me so bad that I've completely flipped the minute he said, my bedroom's completely changed. I've got a brand new setup. I've moved this was like 4 hours out of my Saturday. That's how much he got to me. So thank you for that. But you know what? Your haters are your biggest inspiration. That's what I've learned. So there we go.
Come on, big up.
I just got a couple quick ones. Turkish asked for one comment. Jordan bigged up the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, everyone in Tesco's, everyone in the gym, everyone on the tube, and the entire rave.
And
I would have been mad.
If you noticed, he didn't have a comment of the day. He just bigged up people he met across the week. So
I didn't. And Deluded, our good friend Deluded, commented, left a comment saying keeps getting better and better. And in terms of guests, he said Berta and Kroenke next. So yeah, come on, Turkish, put a call in. See if we can get them on the podcast.
Nah, I like that. Listen, I loved a lot of them comments. I got one stimulus from Carl saying, watch in about 50 episodes time, they'll have Henri on here. Yeah, and that's the dream. That is the dream, people. If I ever get Henri in here, yeah, that'll be the day. I'm telling you, people. But listen, love for the love community as always. The support doesn't go unnoticed, underappreciated. And listen, the intro will be slightly cleaner real soon. We'll get that done.
James, he's hurting, isn't he? He's pissed now. You've pissed him off, James. You pissed him off.
He's gonna make me look like shit on the thumbnail, isn't he?
Yeah.
yeah. That's it. 100%. Remember Ali got Voldemort one time.
Yeah, that upset him.
Yeah,
he
that
did not like that.
We had to change it. Hey, anyway, good times. Laura, listen, we've just gone over time, hour 31 minutes, but thank you. Sunday night, late, you know, I'm sure you got things to do tomorrow morning, bright and early, but pleasure. Great.
Big up you, man. Best guest.
Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed.
Thank you. Do you know what? Tomorrow's schedule is looking busy. We're going to start with the Arsenal podcasts, obviously, get through that content. And then after lunch, I'll be diving into the Tottenham podcasts just to keep that going. You know, I like to just a bit of a hate listen. That's my busy schedule for tomorrow.
Will you tune into the Sports Bar, Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on TalkSport?
Probably we'll tune in, listen to Jason Cundy doing his, you know, has anyone seen? I expect that to be a good one tomorrow. So yeah, lots and lots of content to get through tomorrow night. Yeah, very busy. Yeah. But thank you so much for having me, guys. I really loved it. And what a day.
Trust me, chose a good one for you. But hopefully you'll be back on again at some point this season. People, yes, Laura Kirk 12, that's the X. It's pinned in the description below. Show Laura some love on X, but it's Laura Kirk Francis on IG and TikTok. She's active there as well. So show love across the platforms community. Show her the loose cannon love. Obviously big up Pure. QR code back on the screen. TLC10 is the code. You get £10 off a minimum spend of £60. Hella flavors, hella nutrients. If you're into that, if you want to get into that and you like the loose cannons, then, you know, it makes sense, right? 2 + 2, Bob's your uncle. So scan the QR code, click the link in the description and the pinned comment section. Individual channels, as always, Coolest Disabled. That's Jordan's channel. Gooniverse and Gooniverse News, that's James' channel. This is my channel, and the Big Six is there as well. The main show coming later tonight because this will be out Monday morning, bright and early. So have a good day, people. Love for the love as always, and we'll see you soon after that Bayern Munich game, before that Chelsea game. Peace. All right.